Hello fellow YouTubers, welcome to this video. Sorry if the intro is really fast, it's because I just did this intro and then I had the wrong memory card in and it wiped. Anyway, okay, it is a Monday Night Raw review. It's been 2 weeks, but this one is going to be good because Mudlup is back. Before I get started though, I want to thank Sean Bliss and You Tapped Out, 2 of the most loyal subscribers I have on this channel. See, when I wasn't uploading for that week, they went back. They were like, you know what? We're gonna see his old videos. That is the commitment I like. Thank you guys. I'm glad you enjoy the content that much. It means the world to me. It really does. Anyway, let's get started with Monday Night Raw. So Raw starts with a big dog. And you know what? How can an episode of Raw be bad when it starts with the big dog? Like, for real, how can it? Because if you like Roman Reigns, then the show starts with him. And if you don't like Roman Reigns, then guess what? He's off the show for the rest of the night. So anyway, the thing that jumped out at me was, why doesn't the show start with him in the ring? They seem to do this a lot, where the first thing that happens in the show is the music hitting of somebody. Why doesn't the show start with them in the ring? Because literally it took him 2 minutes to actually start talking. It's like you could have had him come out before the show went live. Yeah, you would have missed his pop, but I mean, who cares? It's no big deal. Anyway, he starts to talk, the fans won't shut up, and he's getting better at this. He really is. To be fair though, he was really good at this back in the day too. When he says, "Give me a minute, you might like what I'm saying." See, this is one of the things I think Roman Reigns has that not many other people have. So, like, remember back when, I think it was right after the Shield broke up, and Roman Reigns was cutting a promo, and the crowd was trying to hijack it. They were like, "Oh, Cena sucks, Cena sucks," and Roman was like, "When I'm in the building, you damn right he sucks." I don't remember what he said exactly, but Roman Reigns is really good at playing off of the fans. And I think that's one of the things that really separates him from the rest of the roster. Because a lot of the other people on the roster can't. Especially not to that level. But yeah, he accepts the ambulance match because why wouldn't he? So, whatever. And then he says it's his yard. And he says he's going to take Braun to hell. So quick sidebar, I'm so tired of hearing this. It was bad enough this year, well last year, the build up to Hell in a Cell. When everybody was like, "Oh, I'm taking you to hell, Charlotte. I'm taking you to hell, Rusev." It was bad enough then, but this is an ambulance match. The ambulance doesn't go to hell, it goes to the hospital. In any sort of analogy, the hospital would be like heaven. Or at least purgatory, not hell. So, what, is Roman Reigns gonna, like, get in the ambulance and just, like, drive it off a bridge or something? Even that doesn't... I don't get why he said it here. Like Roman Reigns, bad word choice. Ambulance comes out with loud-ass sirens, because I have to raise my volume pretty loud to hear it over the AC, and... yeah. Roman goes to investigate when Strowman Pearl Harbors him. We are bringing this back. Pearl Harbor. We're going to mention it all the time. So hopefully none of you guys get offended by me saying this a lot. Reigns starts fighting back before Braun literally launches him into the side of the ambulance, and literally you just hear a thud of just Roman bouncing off of it. And this is another thing that Roman does really well, because I feel like he's willing to take a lot of bumps that, like, they just don't even look pretty. And in modern WWE, that's kind of a good thing, to be honest. Strowman throws him inside it. Quick little segment that started the show off. I think this whole segment itself lasted like 13 minutes. Way better than the usual, like, 30 minutes we get. And guess what? Strowman, Reigns, not on the rest of the show. So for people who don't like Reigns, you didn't have to deal with him. For people who don't like Strowman, he was gone. This could literally be how every episode of Raw starts out. Put 2 of the, like, least liked wrestlers out there, have them fight real fast, 5 minutes, get them off TV. Problem solved. We come back from commercial and see Sheamus, Cesaro, and Elias Simpson. They're in the ring and they're going to sing a song. Elias said he needs to start a trio, and that way he can sing for LA's bright lights. But literally, like, he starts playing the guitar and he gets cut off by the Hardys music. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like, I think I'm gonna start disliking Elias. And it's not against him. It's just like, I feel like this happens every week. Like, literally every week. And him feuding with Finn Balor is not going to be a good thing for him. Unless they have him go over Finn Balor, at which point I think the hardcore fans might, like, turn on him. Because then they'll be like, hey, he buried Finn Balor. I just don't get it. So, who benefits from this? Because if Finn goes over, then Elias just looks like a dumb fuck. But also, like, as somebody who likes Elias, in the hierarchy of things, Finn Balor is about here right now. And Elias is like here, maybe? Right above like Heath Slater. Well, not even above Heath Slater. I think Heath Slater's above him right now. But he's like right there with Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas, people like that. But yeah, it's something I noticed because I wasn't really paying much attention. It's a 6-man tag. It's the Hardys, Finn Balor versus Elias, and Cesaro. But when Jeff and Sheamus were in the ring together, it literally seemed like Jeff was a little afraid to make contact with Sheamus. Like, maybe he's still a little worried he's going to get another one of his teeth kicked out. Because, like, all of his moves did not look good on him. Maybe it's just Jeff. I don't know. I generally don't pay too much attention when he's in the ring. So, some Josh Duhamel guy is on commentary. And at this point, I was kind of getting a little excited because I'd heard the rumors that the Ball family were going to be there, and I'm like, they already have a celebrity on the commentary table, so maybe we'll get a lot of involvement from celebs tonight, because I know that the NBA awards ceremony is also tonight. So, like 2 weeks ago when the finals were on and they didn't try, I was kind of hoping they'd do the opposite and they'd be like, you know what, there's no reason anybody would actually want to see the awards ceremony. Like, thank God the NBA draft was on a Thursday and not a Monday. Like, damn, that would have really sucked. But as I was mentioning about this Josh Duhamel guy, doesn't seem like he likes wrestling. Which is kind of a shame because if you don't like it, why are you there? I don't know, because I had the match muted at first. And I kind of came in like midway through and he was like asking if certain things were illegal. Like, again, I wasn't paying too much attention. I didn't even notice there was somebody new on the commentary table, and then I thought it was Matt Stryker. So, I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, Finn Balor's hot tag, like, because, you know when somebody gets the hot tag and then they come in and they just tear everything up? Finn Balor seems so choreographed. And this is my problem with a lot of the more high flyer people, is that, like, sometimes to actually do everything properly, you need to have people in the right spot at the right time, in the right positioning. And due to that, a lot of times you watch them and it takes you really out of the product when you're like, well, shit, why is Sheamus backing up onto the ropes? Nothing happened. Oh, so you can get clotheslined over him. It just, I don't know, it's a nitpick. And I don't say that to badmouth Finn Balor. It was just something I noticed here where it just didn't seem very real. You wouldn't see that in a real fight. And granted, I know it's professional wrestling, but at the same point, you know, a level of believability would be nice. Faces go over dominantly at the end. I say dominantly, like it was a 30-minute match. Like literally, I think between this and the opening segment, it was like 35 minutes into the show. But like, literally every member of the heel team was down. And I'm not a fan of that, because it's literally what the Hardys have been doing since they came back. And it just kind of sucks, to be honest. Goldust cut a video package. I didn't even put it in the notes. But then when he came back from commercial, he was having his entrance. And he came out with his own cameraman, which was kind of cool, I guess. But I kind of think Goldust should be out of the fucking company right now. No offense towards him, but, you know, especially when you're feuding with R-Truth, because you're not putting over young talent. And frankly, it doesn't seem like the crowd cares either. So what is the point? Literally, there are people who aren't getting shown on TV week in and week out, and yet Goldust and R-Truth are getting TV time every week. Whatever. So I was all excited we were going to finally get the match, and what happens? Goldust attacks R-Truth before the match. I guess we had a shitty beatdown instead. Didn't look good. Like, at least it didn't last too long. Sometimes they have these beatdowns that go way too long. So at least it wasn't one of those. I did like that that Truth didn't rap when he was coming out to the ring. That's always good. Just because it shows that he's more serious. And I'm going to bring that up again later on. So we get an interview with Paul Heyman backstage. He says Brock is going to call out Joe for a fight when Joe grabs him from behind. And I'm going to be honest, like, I don't care about this feud at all. Between the fact I don't like either guy, and then I don't like Paul Heyman to add on to that. And then even more so than that, you know how it's going to end. So this entire storyline has kind of left me feeling meh. Which, you know, it's okay. See, and this is something I'm going to implore wrestling fans to do. Okay? Because when Roman Reigns is champion, fans complain. And it's like, guys, there's, you know, 3 hours of television. Just because one champion is somebody you don't like doesn't mean the whole show sucks now. It really doesn't. But point is, Brock Lesnar's champ, don't like him. The show doesn't suck because of that. The show sucks because the show kind of sucks. Whatever. The thing I noticed, and I shouldn't say this because right now I'm breathing heavy, but Samoa Joe was breathing so heavy that mic was way too, like, onto him. I don't know where it was. But, like, literally the whole time he's there, you can hear him breathing, like, just, I couldn't tell if it was him or Paul Heyman, and I don't know. Kurt Angle is seen with Bayley backstage drawing balls for a gauntlet match. Okay, she doesn't seem too bummed about what she got. Later on we find out she got #1. So why don't you look bummed? Are you trying to prove something? Whatever. And then the segment of the night, guys. Miz TV with the Ball family. You know how exciting this is? This is super exciting. But yeah, before they actually came out, I was wondering, will LeVar be booed? Because generally, I don't hear people say good things about him, but I know they're in LA. Which makes you wonder, like, are they planning for him to be a face or a heel? And I don't think they knew either. So, at first he comes out, and there's no Lonzo. It's just LeVar and LiAngelo? LaMelo? I don't know. I should know. As much as I've been following basketball this year, I don't know all of their names. I'm sorry. But all I know is that poor kid, like, for one, good haircut, kid. Good haircut. But more importantly, it seems like nobody cares. They're like, hey, he scored 92 points in the game, but we don't, I think they mentioned his name like once or twice. Like the entire like 10-minute segment. It just, eh. But then LeVar picks up the mic and welcomes Lonzo out to the ring. Which I did like. I'm like, this is what we need. Because literally, this segment doesn't work without Lonzo. Even if Lonzo doesn't do anything, him being there, at least it makes sense in the context of why they're here. And it was interesting, because when Lonzo came out, he mentioned it. He said this was the first time he was in the Staples Center as a Laker. Which, you know, even though the segment itself I don't think was that good, the fact that the WWE got the right to be able to say that is kind of cool. If you really think about it. Like, I know a lot of people won't care. But if you think about it, say he plays his entire career with the Lakers, literally every time they're in LA, they can show this video package of, hey, look, it's Lonzo, the first time he was a Laker in this stadium. Just saying. I think that's pretty cool. Miz says, imagine the partnership of Miz and LeVar Ball's Big Baller brand. And I think at this point, they're trying to figure out if LeVar is going to be cheered or booed. Because I question, like, do you think they gave him, like, a script and said, follow this? Because I don't think LeVar is one of those people who would follow a script. You know what I'm saying? So it made me wonder, and I think they were kind of having Miz play almost face at this point. So that way you can kind of manipulate off of it based on what LeVar does. Where, like, he even went for the cheap pop of saying, hey, we're in the Staples Center in LA. So I think that's what they were going for here. But LeVar shoots him down saying the Miz is too low for him. My reaction is, how in the fuck is the Miz too low for the Ball family? Because using that logic, literally the Miz is like the WWE right now. Like in terms of longevity, I think it's like the Attitude Era guys, so like Big Show, Kane, Mark Henry, Goldust. Then it's like the Ruthless Aggression Era guys, John Cena, Randy Orton, Lesnar. and then The Miz. So I think he's like the 7th or 8th most tenured guy on the roster right now. Which is just weird. Maybe Dolph Ziggler's been there longer, I think, actually. But yeah, LeVar starts saying what Miz stands for. He's like, I bet it stands for the misinterpreted zone. Like, this is the thing, though. Because I don't think that's a WWE joke. I don't. I think that was something he came up with. But at the same point, it's like, if he did, then does he watch wrestling? At which point, can we get more of this, please? Please? It was pretty good. He also said, or does it stand for a million zippers? Because Miz has all the zippers on his outfit. It was pretty good stuff. Miz calls himself the MJ of WWE, then asks if LeVar is going to unleash the balls on him. Because their last name is Ball. Like, I know it's childish, but I was enjoying it. I'm sure somebody else is going to lambaste it horribly. But Miz and LeVar take their shirts off like they're about to fight. And what I enjoyed about this, because this segment, I think I would look at it differently if Lonzo and Ball 2, if they looked embarrassed about being there. But it looked like they were having a good time. So because of that, I can laugh at this all I want. This was a good thing, I think. Then Dean Ambrose comes out. Dean says he's representing the brand, and his music comes on hella quick. It was very odd. I didn't understand why it came on so fast. Because it's almost like one of those things where, like, you'd imagine they'd have like a 5-10 more minutes of promo. Maybe not even that much. Maybe just a minute or two more, something. But instead, it cuts off hella quick. So we come back and we get Dean Ambrosia, the Lunatic Fridge, Heath Slater, Rhino, versus The Miz, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel. So far, both matches we've actually seen have been 6-man tag matches, which kind of bums me out, because these matches always... Literally, I can't think of a single time I've seen a match like this that didn't involve 2 3-person stables that felt like it actually mattered in the grand scheme of things. No, I can. Because there was the pay-per-view last year where it was Cena, Enzo, and Cass versus The Club with AJ Styles. So at least that one sort of made sense, but... yeah. Then the thing I noticed was that The Miz, like, never hits the last Miz kick. When he's mocking Daniel Bryan and he's going for the kicks when the opponent's on their knees, like, never hits the last one. Why does he keep using the move if, for one, you know you're not getting a match with Daniel Bryan, 2, the storyline doesn't continue, and 3, you never hit the damn move? Like, sometimes I watch wrestling and I go, where is the logic in this? And that's one of those moments where I just don't get it. Bo Dallas, if he put on some weight, would look like a lighter-haired Rhino. Because they're wearing, like, basically the same outfit now. And they have, like, the long hair, and it's dark. Granted, Bo Dallas is a little lighter. Which is something weird I noticed. Miz distracts the ref and Dean Ambrose so Axel can hit Rhino, allowing Bo to roll him up. I'm glad the heels won. But, I mean, it's a shitty way for them to win. Enzo comes out and has a spiel before hitting the ring. Wrong choice, WWE, because he shouldn't be doing that. He should be affected by this. He should be upset. He should not want to be like that Enzo anymore. Especially with the way they end up handling it afterwards. He calls up Big Cass, says he's been trying to get a hold of him all week. He even been talking to his mama. His mama. Cass comes out to the same music, and again, really shouldn't. You had a week. You should have given him some new music. Or you couldn't figure one out, even though, you know, you have your people, you knew this was the plan for like a month now. You've had like 35 days to come up with music. But you could have had him come out to nothing. Just a thought. He has like a straight black apron thing on. Because before he'd have it and it would be like Enzo and Cass merch. Now it's just black. It looks dumb. Again, you knew this was coming. Why didn't you make him merch? Just silly. But it all makes sense because Enzo says he won't let Cass break the brother relationship they have. Because they're tight, they're homies, they've been friends forever. And Big Cass apologizes. Guys, they're back together. And the whole time I'm uneasy. I'm like, no, Big Cass is lying. Big Cass is lying. But then he gives him a big boy apology. Like, normally when people apologize, you get the, like, I'm sorry. Or, I'm sorry I upset you. There's a right way to apologize to somebody, and there's a wrong way to apologize to somebody. And Big Cass is going the right way to apologize. And you know what? At this point, I started thinking to myself, I'm like, maybe Big Cass won't turn on Enzo again. And then I was like, should I be angry about this or should I be happy about this? Because on the angry end of the spectrum, you figure, hey guys, you know, they turned on him, he attacked him, he belittled him, but now you're reversing on it, and it's like, well, it didn't matter. And I was mad at Carmella when I was mad at the WWE when they took Carmella's briefcase because it was the same thing. But then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, but at the same point, this represents an entirely new kind of relationship between people. Something I don't think the WWE has ever addressed before. When, you know, sometimes somebody can hurt you and you still go back to them. And that honestly started sounding appealing to me. Where, like, I don't want to say like it was a relationship, like a dating relationship. But at the same point, it's like they've been friends for so long and Enzo refuses to walk away from it. I honestly thought it'd be pretty interesting. Because then you could have Big Cass still kind of be a heel, move Enzo from his tag team partner to his manager, like I think they should have just done him anyway. And then you can have Enzo as the face, who is kind of being almost abused by Big Cass. Which I think would have been, like, literally mind-bogglingly good. Maybe not that good, but it had potential. And then Big Cass, he calls people who thought they actually were going to split up, he calls them soft, you know, S-A-W-F-T, soft, that whole big spiel. And then they go to leave before Big Cass hits Enzo with a brutal-looking lariat. It was like I almost wanted them back together. This segment, this might have been segment of the night. It was this or the Miz segment. Because this was so good. Because literally, as the segment went on, at first I was like, you know what, you can't get back together. And then I was like, you know, this is interesting. And then you get hit with something else. My problem is this feud doesn't make Enzo look good at all. And think about it. How could it? Because now you've had Enzo get his ass beat 2 weeks in a row. You've had Enzo get turned on 2 weeks in a row. You've had Big Cass belittle him. You've had Enzo beg for his, him to come back. This segment is just making Enzo look bad. And for anybody who's an Enzo fan out there, this is really not what you would have wanted to see happen. But, I had the TV on mute, so I missed what was going on, but then Cass comes out and threatens Corey Graves. Calls him like a pencil neck geek or nerd. I was like, here we go. Big Cass partnership with the club. Make it happen. Make it happen. I will give you all of my money to buy merch. Big Cass in the Bullet Club. I shouldn't get that excited, but in seriousness, that would be kind of cool. If you think about it, I mean, just saying, them calling people nerds all the time together. When I was at Raw, I chanted nerds for the club. I hate the club. Seth Rollins comes out to fight Kurt Hawkins. Seth wins. I get to see his finishing move. Literally, since I started watching again, have not seen his finishing move. I think I missed like the 1 week where he actually did it. And while it looks okay, my gripe with it is it just looks like a knee to the face. Sheamus does a similar move that I think looks better when Sheamus does it. I just don't think that's gonna work too well. But right after the 3 count, Bray Wyatt cuts a promo. And guess what, guys? It's a boring-ass promo. Did not feel like paying attention. Spoiler alert, I didn't. We see Dana Brooke and Mickie James drawing their balls. Who cares? Oh, I don't think I explained this. There's going to be a gauntlet match later tonight to determine the #1 contendership for Alexa Bliss at Great Balls of Fire. Heyman waiting for Lesnar backstage, and crazy enough, Brock Lesnar shows up right before the end of the 2nd hour. Brock Lesnar has impeccable timing. He decides he's going to show up for one. He won't show up at the beginning of the show, when you know that there isn't anything else on. Because the NBA awards ceremony, I want to say it started at 9. So naturally, Brock Lesnar has to show up for 1 after 9. And 2, he has to show up literally at the second, or debatably most critical part of the night. The 9:55, 10:05 slot. Just saying. Paul is in the ring when we come back from commercials, talks a lot before Lesnar comes out, and Joe jumps him from behind, hits him with a Pearl Harbor, and locks him in the Coachella clutch. And Lesnar holds his breath till his face turned purple. And it's just crazy. The Revival come out, save the day, pulling Samoa Joe off Brock Lesnar. For one, why is it the Revival? Is there like no good faces left in the locker room at this point? I don't get it. No reason to be proud, Joe, though, because this is what I noticed in this segment. Brock Lesnar had that big-ass Universal Championship still on his waist. For one, I know Samoa Joe does not know what that feels like because he will never be winning that title. But two, that big-ass championship, like as he's falling, it's digging into his gut. As a big guy who sometimes wears belts, I know how that feels. It hurts when your gut is just digging into it. It hurts. And Brock Lesnar couldn't breathe because that pain was so agonizing for him. And you didn't accomplish anything, Samoa Joe. Yeah, you really didn't. So then we had Neville versus Lince Dorado with Akira Tozawa ringside. Neville wins with, I think his move is called the Rings of Saturn. I don't know. Him and Austin Aries have basically the same finishing move. There's somebody who could have broken up Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar or Austin Aries. Where is he at? I'll probably never know anymore. Yeah, so after the match, he waves Akira in the ring, and Akira comes in the ring, but then right as they're about to start, tussling real good, Titus O'Neil comes out. And this was a missed opportunity here. So, you had LeVar Ball on the show. You had Titus O'Neil on the show. Like an hour and a half apart from each other. Why? You could have had Titus O'Neil cut The Miz and LeVar Ball's segment off. And been like, yeah, my brand is better than yours. But instead they took it in the direction with Dean Ambrose. And again, I don't mean to be this guy, because I know people like Dean Ambrose. But why does it seem like every time he's involved in a storyline, it's getting in the way of something better? Why? Whoa. So tired of Dean Ambrose. But yeah, he does a good job hyping up the match for Great Balls of Fire. I'm okay with this. Granted, there was no Apollo Crews. There's somebody else who could have broken up that fight. Then we get a Paul Heyman interview backstage. Paul basically recaps a bit of the promo from a few weeks ago about Samoans not liking Joe because Joe hits people from the back. He talks way too much, if we're being honest. At this point, this is the, third time we've heard him talk? Yeah, I think so. And honestly, I'm not a fan of Paul Heyman anyway. I feel like all of his promos are the same. And frankly, they all seem like gibberish. And this just... it was Paul Heyman overload, I'm sorry. But there was a Nia Jax spotting. As she's coming backstage, she runs into Alexa Bliss. And Alexa Bliss shows the similarities the two have, saying that Alexa Bliss has always been, discriminated on and judged because she has a weird physical appearance, being as she's short as hell. But Nia Jax, she's wide. But even though she's not really that wide. But, she's at least wider. I don't know. I wasn't really paying much attention at this point. But Alexa Bliss wishes her luck, and Nia Jax basically like, bitch, I ain't need no luck. I'm fucking Nia Jax. And I didn't mention that Sasha Banks grabbed a ball. So is Alicia Fox legitimately hurt? Because she wasn't on here. This would have been a good spot to get her in the gauntlet match. She wasn't here. I don't know. So the main event, the first ever women's gauntlet match. So here you go, guys. Okay, you got another first ever. So you're gonna get 3 women's first evers in in 9 days. You are seriously telling me they couldn't have fucked up the ending of one of those? Like, really? Really, really? That's the shit that drives me nuts. So we start off with Nia Jax and Bayley, and at this point I'm fast-forwarding through the commercials, and I had enough fast-forward to keep going through the match, because frankly, I don't care about this match. Recently, I've kind of lost interest in Bayley's in-ring work, and if we're being honest, Nia Jax isn't that good in the ring anyway. I'm not trying to badmouth her. I think we all agree on that. So I missed pretty much all the fight. Nia Jax wins. Mickie James comes in next. Jax runs her over, beating her. She lasted longer than the next 3 people. 2 people. Yeah. So next, Dana Brooke comes out, and Dana gets smashed. Like, literally, I think she was in there for like a minute tops. Then Emma comes out. She also gets wrecked. Okay. Now it's Jax versus Banks. And Sasha Banks is involved, so let's give her 20 fucking minutes of wrestling. And you know, I'm gonna complain that it's too long. I get it, it's a story. It's a battle for... The reason Nia Jax lost is because she had wrestled all these matches. My gripe with that is that she ran over Dana Brooke and Emma. So it's like, it doesn't feel like she's wrestled all those matches. It feels like she's wrestled 2. So, I don't know. I did like the subtleness. They mentioned on commentary, I'm glad they did, that Nia Jax was basically just throwing Sasha out of the ring and trying to recover, hoping that Sasha wouldn't get back in the ring in time. Because, hey, any win's a good win at this point. Do find it funny that you give basically the most accomplished wrestler on your roster the last spot in a gauntlet match. I was kind of hoping Alicia Fox would come out after this, just to really throw everybody for a loop. Yeah, so Jax ends up tapping to the Banks statement. I'm glad she tapped instead of passing out, even though at the same point she shouldn't really tap because she's a fucking monster heel. But whatever, you know, you're trying to get her over. Should she have lost? Yes, but at the same point, she shouldn't have been in there first. I don't know. I was advocating for Sasha Alexa, so I'm not going to complain. Kurt Angle comes out and basically just lifts Sasha's hand in victory. Well, this is a fine moment. To me, I sit there and go, hey, Kurt, Sasha has won the women's title like 4 fucking times already. She doesn't need your rub. Almost seems like a John Cena thing, where John Cena comes in and he's like, I'm going to pull, you know, Zack Ryder's momentum over to me, so that way people will like me instead of not liking me. It's almost what it feels like. But then Alexa Bliss comes out as well, and Sasha knocks her out of the ring. So we hear Sasha Banks' music 3 times. 3 fucking times. Might have been 4, actually. When she came out, she won the match. No, it was 3. Then again, her music might have played after Kurt Angle lifted her hand, so I don't know. It might have been 4. I don't know. Generally, this wasn't a really bad Raw by any stretch. It was passable, to be honest. I don't think... Here's what I'm going to say, okay? If you missed this episode of Raw, you didn't miss much. You missed a Miz and the Ball family segment, which, if you like basketball, it's worth checking out. You missed the Enzo and Big Cass segment. I'll say that's worth a watch. You missed... If you like Brock Lesnar or Samoa Joe, you missed that, but really, that's about all you missed. I don't think Sasha Banks winning is that big a deal. Don't get why they had to have a gauntlet match. It's almost like they're literally competing with SmackDown and going, hey, you're doing a first ever, we're going to do another one. And we're going to get to this point where there aren't any first evers anymore. And then what? But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you all did like it. If you made it this far, please, please comment. And hell, if you want to, share. And if you're a new person, subscribe. And also share. And like. And comment. Everything. Just do everything. You guys know what to do. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate my hardcore subscriber base who just cannot get enough of my mug. That they're going to go back and watch old videos when my video quality was insanely low. I'm not saying this is high right now, but it was even lower back then. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Peace out, skillets.